material I have sent. Any of you read that?
Good afternoon, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, I went through the thing.
Yes. So anyone has any questions now regarding that, or shall we just go ahead with the discussions or presentation, whatever I have? If anyone wants to, because I'm not going to present anything on that. If you have read, if you have something to talk about it, we can discuss. Otherwise, I'll just go ahead with the with my presentation.
Ma'am, I don't have a question, but I would like to applaud this endeavor on part of Supreme Court.
Okay. Okay. Yes. Yes. It's like, in fact, Indira Jaising, she was the well-known Supreme Court lawyer. She indeed said that, you know, we appreciate this effort that Supreme Court finally felt that it's important that, you know, we put this effort at least. Otherwise, we would use each and every term whenever we like, however we like, not understanding, sensing the gravity of hurt it may cause to the people. So anyway, yes, I also appreciate that, even though it's not complete enough by itself unless we practice it in day-to-day court process or court procedures. Okay, thank you, Sahil. Okay, today we'll discuss about gender, society, and law. I believe this course is around the gender. And I believe that gender component is something which is like, for me, it is kind of a basic structure of the society itself. You know, constitution, what fundamental right is the basic structure of the constitution. I would say gender is the basic structure of the society. If we do not understand gender in its right perspective, or you know, the difference between sex and gender, and understand the influences it can create or the damages it can create to people, to society, and to the law. So you know, unless we understand all this, these connections, it will be very difficult to even bring any reform in the society. Always we talk of so many reforms, but every reform we think from the beginning, will not think from the origin, from where all this problem comes up. And ask me if you ask me, every problem, can you please make your this thing mute and talk, whoever it is? Okay. So unless and until we understand gender in its proper perspective, it's not possible to solve any of the society or law problems, because everything starts from the gender, our understanding, and the value we would like to give or we actually give to both men and women. So when you say gender, it's not only about a woman here. Please understand, gender affects both sexes. Okay, so it has its negative impacts on both of them, but the percentage of its negative impact is more on women than men, because it gender discriminates women in a higher degree than compared to man. Anyway, so there is this slogan, which is in fact quoted by judge in one of his judgments, wherein he says, Henrik Ibsen says that a woman cannot be herself in the society of the present day, which is an exclusively masculine society, with laws framed by men and with a judicial system that judges feminine conduct from a masculine point of view. So this is something, as a lawyer, I see almost daily in our courtrooms. I mean, it's like you feel, yes, this is what happens. Even when you read the laws, you can see that there is so much of power that is given to the masculine society, or maybe we can say it keeps so much of power within itself. And women, even after passing of the law, women have to struggle for equality, each and every time pointing out that it is unconstitutional, you're discriminating against me because I'm a woman, you're not giving me equal property rights, you're not giving me equal right to own a house, and these things. So we have lot many challenges that comes up, because even when we make the law, we do not include understand the equality component within the law. So that is the major problem. So even if you see the Indian Constitution, right? So it says that women, we can make a special provision for women and children if you read Article 15, Clause 3. And because of that, we have made lot many special laws, but they are not in the sense of favoring women. Normally, people in the day-to-day life, they say that, oh, there are so many laws made for women. It's not like that. Law doesn't discriminate between men and women. So when they say that state can't make any special provision for women and children, that is only in respect of affirmative actions that court can, how affirmative, through affirmative actions court can take positive actions, like that. Even the laws also can be made to for the betterment of the ladies, for the women as well as children. So like that, we have now what is that, Dowry Prohibition Act came in. Then we have Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act. Then what is that, Act Against Obscenity of Women, depicting women in obscene conditions. So those kind of laws that came in. So why? Because when we talk about equality, there is something called substantive equality. I'm not sure whether you have heard of that term. So substantive equality is wherein, when to make this equality to come into picture, you have to make some special provision to make the equality possible. Substantive equality uh, is all about that. So you may have seen in many clippings where you, I don't know, like you get WhatsApp message and all that. So if someone is not taller like as you are, and then you're watching something near the fence, then the shorter one would need some to what you call, some stones or some small stool, something like that, to stand up on, right? It's like that. So when women were not given equal opportunity, when they were not given equal support for education, then you have to make a special provision for them. One is through law, that is what we call affirmative action, through using all the articles wherein they say that whenever you see discrimination, you have to bring in equality there. And to bring in equality, you have to have some special provisions or supporting, you have to make a supporting circumstances or situations to create the opportunity for them to access that. So that is something, that is why Article 15, Clause 3 becomes very important in the Constitution. And you can always demand for new legislations when the law doesn't talk about much. See, there was this acid attack cases. We had no special law. Even now, we do not have any specific law like Bangladesh. But at least after the 2013 amendment to the law, we were able to insert two sections into the Indian Penal Code, 326A and 326B. 326A and 326B. Yeah. So those sections, making it specifically as an offense and making the punishment or making it highly punishable offense. So that actually helps when helps to maybe reduce that kind of offenses from frequently happening, because earlier the same acid attack would cause so much damage, but the person, the accused will just get some 3-4 months or maybe a year simple imprisonment and they'll come out. So it would not really affect anything and people wouldn't care not to do it. So that is why, so we have these kind of laws. That is, again, I would say these are all kind of affirmative actions. So formal equality and substantive equality. So that is where gender, plays a lot of role. So when you formal equality, you just look at equality as man and woman, they are equal, they have gone to school, they have equal education, and in those levels, you just have your own ideas of how to measure that equality. But substantive equality is something which really, which is which has much more supporting components to make this equality really work for the person. It is not illusory or on paper or anything. So now currently, the sustainable goals which UN has is the fifth sustainable goal in the United Nations chart is that gender equality. So they also now, even today, we are striving to achieve that gender equality. So you know that towards that we have ratified CEDAW. Again, this is one of the very important international conventions to eliminate any kind of discrimination against women. And let's understand that all the discrimination or gender starts from gender-based discrimination or gender violence. Every component from there emerges because of the gender discrimination we have. Then UDHR, then we have Article 253, which makes these conventions to be implemented in Indian laws. Because normally we say that, oh, international conventions we ratified, how does it mean that we have to implement that in India? So the constitution helps if we refuse to do that. So many in the court arguments, we do talk about these international conventions and about the gender discrimination and, press on the court that we have to look into these components and we have to implement these ones. CEDAW has its own reservations. It has certain components which it has refused to implement, especially in personal laws and other things. But anyway, that even it's like Uniform Civil Code. We have so much challenges ahead of us as to what we have to do regarding that. So that will be another kind of discussion. So I do not want to get into that, but so our one of the sustainable goal of UN is to bring in the gender equality. So we understanding of that is very important. So any questions anyone wants to ask in between? Okay. See, when it comes to access to justice, how this gender, what kind of role this gender plays, if you see. In fact, CEDA wants to protect as far as for all, maybe stop any kind of gender discrimination. And they talk about gender stereotypes, stigma, and patriarchal cultural norms and gender-based violence that impact the ability of women to gain access to justice on an equal basis with men. Access to justice, if you in a day-to-day life, if you see, even in our court, when we look into the kind of lawyers women get to hire and the demand for free legal aid, that always comes from, it's in a higher level from women. And then you can always see that she struggles to hire some lawyer, and most of the time she gives up litigation in a halfway. She enters into a mediation settlement which is really not that beneficial for her, but somehow she's not able to afford seeking justice. There are many challenges which she faces, and it becomes very obvious. Then that means there is access to justice on paper or in practice, because We will always say there is a free legal aid. Why can't women go there if they don't have money? So, but how efficiently free legal aid is working, what kind of, whether free legal aid is able to give a qualitative service, timely service, satisfactory service to women, all these challenges we face. And I would say that, my answer is no for that. Because access to justice, even today, it remains as a very huge issue. And if you see in the courtrooms, you see certain standard of people who are accessing the court for justice. Maybe upper class, middle class, maybe a little lower middle class, but you never find below, like below poverty level people, those, who are really poor or anybody. They don't even come near courts. They don't even, because most of the whatever the violence or the justice they want to seek, that ends in police station level many of the times. Police will warn them or send them back, or they never go near any of these institutions. One is maybe lack of education, lack of awareness, or what. Second is, whatever is that, they know that they will not be able to afford. They'll not be able. Nobody is going to take their right to access to justice that seriously. It's not that they don't have what the challenges or injustice being done to them. Uh, as simple as this domestic violence, it happens in almost every home, whether it is a rich person or a poor person. Every woman faces domestic violence in their houses. But when it comes to the lower strata of the society, they never come and seek justice, because we have not built that kind of justice system where they can really feel, it's easy to access. It's not that by one phone call, every service will be rendered to me. It's not like that. So every woman have to go, and first of all, they have to find out where she can access justice, or where she can find legal aid, free of cost. Then the process starts. She'll go find near the court, and then she'll be made to wait for long. And then she was told to fill up an application. Half the time, did not understand what to write. Then she's asked for many documents to fill in. This is in every kind of access. I'm saying this is the biggest problem, hindrance people face. And she'll not have half of the documents. Then she'll be told to go and bring those documents. Like that, see, it becomes very cumbersome, because for her, even going near the court the first time itself is a big issue, but nothing happens. So for us it looks, what big deal, everything system is there. But what I have seen is that whenever I have, because a lot of research work I've done, when they ask them, why don't you go there, why don't you ask, we always say, why these people don't ask for their rights, why should everyone go through violence silently, why nobody fights back. So what, you're a woman, you are given every access to every justice system. Why majority of us do not speak or fight, or even question these kind of injustices that is done in the domestic sphere, is that the access itself has so many hindrance for us. Just because I'm a woman, just because I'm not economically able to seek justice, my ability to protect myself also goes down, goes low. So that's one of the thing normally we see. We feel bad because those who need justice in a higher level do not get it because of the gender discrimination, as well as the economic abilities. So that is why we are saying that all this will erode public trust in criminal justice institutions and their role in upholding the rule of law. So ensuring gender sensitive law, not just the law, there has to be policy and practice is crucial. So preventing secondary victimization and to preventing a deepening of gendered inequalities and a gender-based violence. So you have to understand this word, preventing secondary victimization. This is something, secondary victimization keeps happening in every level, whether woman enters the police station or the courtroom or the free legal aid or wherever. So she has to keep on repeat again and again and again what is going on. And also she has to face the questions of the authenticity of what she's talking, what she's saying, and what kind of evidences she has. Why should anyone believe her these kind of questions, wherein majority of the women give up their effort of even lodging a complaint. Forget about seeking justice. In the level of lodging complaint, they they get so annoyed or hurt that they'll not go further for the for filing any of the cases. But this affects both gender. If the access to justice, as far as accessing justice is concerned, it becomes very problematic when the free access is not there for the legal aid. Not just free, like what I'm saying is the affordable quality, what is the free qualitative service, free qualitative timely service. Those three words are very, very crucial because that is what is missing. So there is this India's rank in the World Economic Forum's, it is 2020 Gender Gap Index. It gives 112th out of 153 total countries covered. So India has slipped by 3% in offering equality of opportunity to men and women for both, right? So it talks about the opportunity coming down for both the sexes. And when law and gender comes, see, the fight started even with access to schools. So we had Rajaram Mohan Rai, who worked against sati system. To stop that, there was so much struggle, and he has gone through so much. When he lived that time, he gone through so much challenges and hatred that came from the communities. Then Jyoti Rao, Govind Rao Phule started a school for girls. Then there is Rukmabai's case where she was forced to go back to her husband. Hers was a child marriage, she was a child bride. Then she was not allowed to study and all that, and she left her husband's place and she was forced to return because the law was like that. So even that law is there, but the thing is, women's autonomy to decide for herself was not there in the law. Even now that law is there, that means you can understand that to what extent we have a right to choose how where we want to live, how we want to live, and how much choices we have to get out of the any abusive out of the abusive relationships, whether it is easy or not. So those challenges still remain as it is. Then we have right, whether woman we can ask for a divorce or not. So when the divorce law came in, again there was, see, not a single law that have come into picture has emerged so easily. Every time there was a question, no, we don't need divorce law, this is Indian society, we don't believe in divorce here, marriage is done for what, forever, as per our belief. So it will only spoil the Indian society and things like that. So wherein people are forced to live together amidst of any kind of violence and all that. So now, of late, even the third gender. So when we speak of gender, normally we say male and female. We never speak of third gender, though we see them everywhere. They are emerging in with different labels and demanding different kind of rights and all that. But these transgender uh, persons, now they were recognized as a third gender, and some percentage of reservation is given to them. All even though that's not good enough, but then we have at least accepted to consider the fact that there is a third gender. That also emerged from National Legal Service Authority of Union of India case. So again, I'm saying this all happened with lot of struggle, not by any it's not an easy task. Okay. Anyway, I think there's some problem with the not able to move the move my PPT. Okay. Okay. So when it comes to family, you look at the gender component in the family that is involved. So how far we understand equal responsibility? I think we hardly, even in the laws, we have failed to bring in this component of equal responsibility. We have equal rights for divorce, we have equal rights for maintenance, we have equal rights for access to children and all that. But when it comes to the, responsibility, we have failed to understand the relevance of gender. That play the influence of gender that plays on man and a woman in a household kind of relationship. See, we start with the presumption that there is a what we are live in a structure where masculinity is considered as so powerful, and masculinity is always given a higher what you call higher uh, place to access to any kind of rights, whether it is setting up of a family or looking after or even the responsibility wise. So the man is considered as the sole breadwinner, and even now there is a there is a presumption that he has to pay for the well-being of his wife and children. But of late court is saying no, if a woman were working, there is no need that those kind of women who are in a job and things like that, they cannot claim for maintenance. Only for children, a woman can ask for maintenance, but she cannot ask. But then what happens is that if you take just being in employment as the criteria to deny women for maintenance, then it again goes against the sensitive part of uh, the gender, in the sense we have to again take into account the amount, a woman earns in a relationship, whether she owns any property, whether she whether what is her monthly income, is it better than husband, or and also the amount that is coming to the family. So who is spending on what, who is taking care of children with their money, or you see majority of the time what we see is that men always invest their money in property, in buying a house or buying a car, these kind of things, and then it's all in their name. So they may use even their wife money, or they may not use her money, but then when they invest their money on the property, all the money that woman earns, that goes to the maintenance of the family. This is very common story everywhere, and as long as relationship goes well, there is no problem. But the moment there is a problem and they go to court, and woman says that I need a maintenance because what I earn is not good enough, court is not going to listen to her. They say, no, 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 you are employed woman, why would you need maintenance? So I'm saying this is the thing which becomes very difficult for her to explain to the court. But nowadays there is so much pressure to uh, consider the capability of the homemaker, and saying that you have to give her all protection, and also you should also the men in the home should start paying her some money, because we have to respect that part of the um, contribution women make to the house. So that is one part of negligence, wherein the housemakers are not given equal status as a owner of the house or anything. And that, I mean, no one raises any questions if one do not make a house in a joint name, no one asks questions. So where is equality? Where is gender equality or anything? So these kind of things. So no law, nothing forces them. So if everybody can make property in their own name, they need not share anything. Then why you coming into the question of institution of family or institution of marriage? Where from the institution will come? How long it will stay? So when the institution should have protected both gender in an equal manner, so that whenever there is any point of misunderstanding, so nobody should be in such a crisis situation wherein their life becomes highly impossible to live. So normally the court uses one word, that people's status should always be intact. Just because they have filed some case, just because the status should not get affected. That means prior to coming to the court, what is the status she has been living in? The same status she should be able to maintain her life thereafter. I mean, thereafter means after even filing any case or any kind of dispute there. But how far we are able to implement that is a big question. That never happens, because then every because the fact that the man makes house only for himself will never taken court will not take it as seriously, that okay, this is not the way, he should have made it in a joint name, because we have still not considered the concept of matrimonial property. We have not respected that aspect, and we have never implemented that aspect. That is why normally everyone thinks that okay, what is that, we have every right. Once you are in the institution of the marriage, you can share everything together, everything applies equally, there is equality. There is absolutely no equality as far as law is considered. There is a gender discrimination that is playing its own role, and we are still hesitant to bring in these equality within the home. So there was also an argument that there is always a denial to bring constitution into the home or apply Indian constitution to the family system. There is a lot of denial towards that, because the one main argument that was put forth is that it's a personal sphere. So whatever happens within the family, we have to respect it. No one should intervene in it. No one should have interfered with it. I mean, even if there is a law, even if then everyone will disobey the law, saying that, see, this is our custom, this is our family culture, this is how we are going to live, and we do not want any institution or law or system interfering with our life. So, how far we can, challenge these kind of things? How far? Uh, so, I don't know whether I'm clear. I'm trying to make you understand that it's not always fair, like the way we see things. You know, everywhere there is a component of, see, just because we do not speak about it, or we do not go to court, or we do not challenge those things, doesn't mean that uh, inequality doesn't exist, right? We should be able to see it. That's what I'm saying. In every household, everywhere, we should be able to understand whether in this particular, in my own home, whether there is a discrimination or not. If there is gender discrimination, to what extent there is a discrimination that exists? How can we mitigate that? How can we make this particular place gender sensitive? That's the first thing. Why I say gender sensitive? Being gender sensitive is the first time you will start thinking about the relevance of gender playing role in bringing inequality among male and female both. So as far as I always say, as far as men are concerned, lot of discrimination that happens against them. One is that they were not allowed to express their emotions. Whenever they try to do it, either they were criticized, or some bad words were used against them for being emotional, or it's like we are not allowing a man, again I say a man is again just because it's again gender based term. So just because that person, that human being is a man, the social norms will impose several criteria that how that man should behave with masculine with masculine um, conduct. Okay, so that means he cannot be any normal person. He has to show that he is masculine, he is strong, he is capable of earning more than a woman many of the times, and he should also have financially very wealthy. Again, all these expectations comes only on the male gender. And also he'll not be able to look after children, he may not be able to mother children, again that gender term. So he, because he's the man, and he may not be able to cook, he he may not be able to do household work. But we need to question, is that all really true? Who is it that stops him from doing all that? Again, as a woman, many of us are not ready to even let them share those roles. We are clinging to those roles so deeply that we ourselves in our own homes refuse to bring gender equality. No, no. So what we normally say, no, no, you don't swipe the floor, or what you call, you don't touch the, we call that hidisudi. You don't, men should not do that kind of job. Okay, and if they dry the clothes, now hardly anyone washes the clothes, even dry the clothes. No, 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 I will do that, we will do that. Or they want to lift the child or bathe the child, look after the, or change child's napkins or anything. Majority of the women at home is, no, 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 you don't do that, you don't do that, she will do that. So these kind of assigning the roles, and making again it very strictly gender based roles. These all should break up. That is what I'm trying to say, that this all looks very small, small, simple things, but ultimately these are the things which constructs gender so deeply that we will not be able to change anything. So why should we stop anyone, whether a man or a woman, from being themselves just because the social norm says that you have to show masculinity or you have to show femininity and all that? Why we not let the people be the way they want to be? Then they can really excel much more. Half of our energy goes in fitting into these gender roles now. So now the youngsters are really coming out, against all these kind of things, and they are living their life the way they want. And there is so much struggle inside each and every family is refusing to accept them the way they are, trying to fix them inside the box where we want to see them. No, you have to behave like this. You have to have a long hair. You have to wear bindi. You have to. This is Indian culture. You have to do it. For a man also, you have to wear lungi. You have to wear this. For the functions, they're not allowed to wear what they want to wear. Whether it's a man or a woman, both will find lot of these kind of unnecessary stress on them, that pressurizing them how to conduct themselves. These kind of things. This looks, again I'm saying, very small, but it's not small. It's kind of, ultimately they start hating the culture, they start hating. So one side we say, no, no, we're teaching them. No, you're not teaching them, you're forcing something. When we force something, it will not last long. When they accept whatever it is on their own, with their own interest, with their own enthusiasm to do it, then it lasts long. When they find that, oh yes, it really is nice, I enjoy doing it, that lasts long. Not so, but in each and everything we say we do, there is so much gender um, component that we bring in a day-to-day life, if you observe it carefully or if you watch it carefully. And all of us do that. That is what I'm saying. It's not just one or two person. All of us do that. But if you are conscious enough not to do that, that is better. Then it gives a lot of space inside the home for everyone to breathe easily and live a better life. So if you see law and gender, now we have given importance to the male child and we do not want a female child. So we had female feticide and infanticide. And to again, till date, we are not able to stop this, because what we need to understand that once society gets into these kind of gender discrimination, and they law cannot do much unless there is some social policy, or law can only think of bringing some social welfare, but it really cannot stop this offense. One of the criminal offense that happens every day in India and we are not able to stop it is sex selection abortions, or sex selection tests, PCP and DT. Okay, prenatal diagnostic techniques, using the technology to detect the sex of the child in the mother's womb itself, and then when we realize it's a female child, going for abortion of the same. Now the law is there very much, but um, we are not able to reduce the sex ratio of, and the gender gap or sex gap of the birth rates between male and female is not equal. Again, there's so much differentiation as far as girl child is concerned. So girl child finds it difficult even to come on this earth. To that extent, maybe we'll become an endangered species one day if this is the this is how we want to use the technology and we want to stop girl child from being born. So that's what I'm saying. So law alone cannot solve the problem which gender norms have created or society has accepted. Once there is a social acceptance that yes, it's a male child that is the most relevant. It's okay if the female child is not born, or it's okay if we don't want, we can just throw the female child, or we can dig the female child in the mud, all these kind of things. Then or give some poison. This is all, there are many instances you'll come to know, but it's not old stories. Please don't think that, oh, some old story she's saying, it has no relevance. No, it is a day-to-day story and it does happen. And even doctors were involved in it. So even though it was told that those who use the sonography and all that technology, radiologists and all that, not to disclose the sex of the baby, they are openly doing it, and people are taking these suggestions. And so this is like the person who do not want a female child and the person who is ready to help, both are mingled. So who will go and give a complaint? So it's a social problem again. So but we expect it to stop, but unless and until there is understanding that this is nothing but a gender discrimination, we are killing a female fetus, female child being born, that kind of, unless and until there is a value for the female child, you cannot stop this. That is what I am saying. Law may be there, but unless and until we have that kind of understanding of the gender, the negative impact of this, importance to the masculine and not so to the feminine, uh, this problem will persist. That is why this kind of uh, courses and teaching is very important, because what we think of the relevance of the female fetus is very important, and the female child and a woman in our house and the female who is working wherever in a in our employment space, wherever it is. So what kind of respect, what kind of regard, what kind of value we give to them, all that adds to the future of the society. So it starts from there, how much you really respect the female child. Because what we see is that even now it is there, whenever the female child is born, the celebration is not as much as what they do when a male child is born. Or let us say, yes, yes, any child is okay. Everyone will say, children are children, they're God's gift and all that. But after the moment the female child is born, immediately there will be people who will be telling that woman or the lady or a man, whoever, that next time we have to have a male child. Okay, one girl is enough for us. This kind of advices, this kind of demands will come into picture, and how much pressure it can build on both couples. I'm saying, do we understand? Many of the time, the pressure is more on a woman. So there were cases. If you have watched Satyamev Jayate of Amir Khan, in one episode, he talks about a lot of families who practice this. These are all educated families, doctor family, and all that. You should watch that episode wherein um, these women were told not to enter husband's house if it's a female child. So she might have delivered one female or two female children earlier, and then third time she was advised not to enter and sent home. This is all recent things I'm saying. It's not age old things. But this happens, and even when we talk it so casually. So so okay, Abhi. So girl has come now. When is the boy is coming? We think it's. I mean, what we think? So what? It's very common to us. It's natural. Everyone wants to have boy and a one girl. It's really not natural. We think it is natural. It is not natural. It is that we are being very gender specific. We are being very what you call, okay, no more female child kind of a thing, or we are pressurizing the on woman's body that okay, you have to go on now delivering the female children until we have a boy. So these kind of things, and lot of violence in connection to the uh, wanting the female male child has happened or faced by not many women. And they I mean, the pressure on them is so much so that many of them then leave the matrimonial home and come back to their parents or go somewhere else with their children, want to live a peaceful life. So some families, the wanting of that male child is so much that it becomes impossible to live in those households. And women end up saying that I really don't want a female child because I know if I give birth to the female child in this particular house, that child will not be treated well. And so she says, I don't want. I do not mind even killing before that child being born. So why should I see that child suffer? But is that the solution? Is my question. So is killing is the question? Is killing is the solution? But killing is something we have adopted, even though it is illegal, even though I would say it's a murder. We do not mind doing that. So gender discrimination has gone to the extent of murdering the fetus. Huh? Female infanticide is also again murdering. So that much hatred towards taking the responsibility in bringing up the female child. So then you have Beti Bachao, Beti Padao. Then you do lot many things for what is that? We have something called what is the Tottilu Bhagya? Many projects, many policies that the government try to bring in so that, and there is Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana. All this why this all comes in so that people value the girl child. But why should it be so difficult? Why we do not understand? Why we have no sense of this kind of gender discrimination that is there in our head? And that's what I'm saying. This is educated class problem. It's not uneducated or lower poor class problem. In fact, in many poor families, they accept any child doesn't matter. So they do not mind having three children, four girls, five girls. They never kill their children. They never no. They will, I mean, that kind of discrimination they do not practice. But those who are educated, they consider everything as a business now. Marriage is a business. Children is also a business. So if I have a male child, if I invest, it is worth it because he'll be there. He'll also bring money. He will earn all that. If a female child, oh, we don't want. It's okay if she's educated. Even while educating female child, so much discrimination is there. On male child, everyone is very clear. Oh, he should be a doctor. He should be this. He should be that. On female child, no, whatever you want, it is okay. You want to study, it is. You don't want to study, it's okay. we are okay, always ready to get you, give you in marriage. So, I mean, there are multiple pressures to, uh, they say it's a choice, not actually a choice. If she has a choice, many women, I'm saying that they're not allowed to go for work, even though they get good opportunities, say outside Karnataka or Bombay or, Delhi or wherever, because it is a out of state. Not even out of state. Some people, even out of district, they'll not allow these women. To that extent, their freedom is deprived. But they say it is a protection we want to give. But for a man, will they ever say that? For a boy child, no, 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 you can't go and take a job here, job there. No, no, he has to build his career. But when it comes to girl child, no, 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 you cannot go. It is not safe. It is not okay. Only, that's what I'm saying. So this kind of discrimination, you may relate it many times. That you may even think that I would have had got a better opportunity if I was allowed to go there and if allowed to take that kind of job. So in the name of protection, in the name of safeguarding women's interest, we practice a lot of gender discriminations against her. Even violence is practiced against her in the name of protection. She was not allowed to go out. She's not allowed to go with friends. She's not. So it's all, everything. The reason is, we are giving you protection. But that is not the way. That's what I'm saying. So we always misname it, or we want to cover it up saying that this is how I care for you. But ultimately, it is not caring. It is just depriving a person from exploring his or her own life. So equal rights to be born is there, but that is being, law says, right to be born is there, right to life is there for everybody. But as far as we are concerned, we don't want to give that right to the female child. Huh? And there is a technology which should be used to detect any kind of flaws in fetus, but we have a lot of fertility clinics who support the preconception sex selection. That means, you all know, I guess you all know that, one can, what we say in vitro fertilization, IVF clinics and all that, where you can even decide a gender. uh, childless couple go to fertility center to check the chances of getting, what fertile, and then they go for this. Then they also can choose whether they want a male child or a female child. What kind of, if you can pay a lot more money, then you can even choose what color of eyes and hair and all that. To that extent, technology has gone up, so you can actually, have your, what child's entire DNA set up, and then select for a male child. So that happens normally. Fertility clinics, people go to get a male child, but the law says that is prohibited. That is why they say preconception and prenatal diagnostic test. So preconception, before conceiving also, you cannot go for any test and see to it that you have only, XY chromosomes uh, uh, in the fetus, so that the male child is born. So that's what I'm saying. Literate, educated were in a high number, and they are responsible for low sex ratio. And that's what now, I don't know, at current, I don't know what is the status, but they say for 1,000 males, we have 943 females. So India has the world's fifth most skewed sex ratio at birth. So even people support this, you know, sex selective abortion, because they say, when family doesn't want this child, why should I, give birth to this kind of child, female child? That is also there. That kind of statement is also there. Why not use the technology when technology is so helpful? And if one family doesn't want to have a female children at all, why should we will use the technology? But what is our social responsibility? And what kind of people we are becoming by, going only for a male child and not a female child? So many women support the idea of not having a female child, because of another theory that, being born as a female, I have suffered so much. I don't want to see another female in front of me going through any of what I have gone Is that the right way to right approach, or are we or should we behave responsibly for to bring in the gender equality and stop any kind of gender discrimination is my question. So running away from the things is not. Many people offer solutions wherein they want to run away from these questions. They do not want to answer or do not want to take any oath saying that yes, I'm not going to do any practices which is harmful for the female gender, or it amounts to gender discrimination or gender inequality. And then we also talk about right to life. And when it comes to right to life, all of us have a right to life. But so there is also a female who is someone who gives birth to another life, another infant, and the whole process is called the she is into the process of reproduction. So this process of reproduction again requires a lot of safeguards for her, which legally speaking it is not there on place even till date. So we have denied reproductive rights to women totally. That is, even choosing of a safe abortion or even selective uses of contraceptives are concerned. So then you'll say why contraceptives are available online, you can just order and you can just use it. And whenever you want to abort, you can abort. Nobody is going to stop. Now you have abortion pills. Why can't women just take it? So all these things. But there are two things here. One is about whom we are talking. We are not here talking just highly educated, financially well-off women uh, who can decide about her life, her womb, her pregnancy, whether she wants to continue, whether she wants to abort or not. That is one point. Another is that we have to consider the interest of every kind of woman here to understand what kind of choices women get to do. So whether women can use contraceptives against the permission of a husband, whether she can go for abortion against the wishes of a husband. If legally, if you ask me the answer, then the answer is yes, she can. But how many women are able to do it is the question. Because the moment she see the act says, the MTP, the Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act says that the moment woman feels that uh, she is physically and mentally, if not capable to carry on with the pregnancy, she can always go in for abortion. Now, physical incapability, even doctors can diagnose and may convince the family that why this abortion is important. But as well as mental unpreparedness, as simple as mental unpreparedness of the woman are concerned, society is not ready to understand that. You can see that, I mean, if she goes for abortion without the consent, definitely she is going to lose her family. So the family will, her husband will come up and say that, look, I don't want to live with you. You have hurt me by going for abortion. Just saying that I'm not prepared. I mean, I know that many people are not even ready to take that answer. What unpreparedness you mean? If not now, when? How can you take your own this thing to decide? No, if she says, no, it's my career, my job, nobody wants to hear that. So, that kind of, then that is once a woman becomes pregnant, this problem comes. And prior to prior to conceiving, hardly anyone sits and discuss and find out, okay, when shall we have a family? When do we start? So that kind of discussion also never happens. There is so much pressure on both man and woman to have a baby immediately after the marriage. Within 1 year, people start asking, so when are you giving us the good news? I mean, that kind of pressure is being built, wherein The task of reproduction is not that easy. Women have to be prepared physically, mentally, that aspect no one will consider. No one will talk that kind of language also. You should consider if you both are prepared, physically and mentally, and if it is viable to have a child at this point of time. No one talks like that. It is as if, yes, you have to reproduce. That's the only aim that you got married. That kind of talk, even today, that happens. So all these expectations of, again, gender based expectations again will reduce the choice that women should have of using contraceptives or of going for abortion. It reduces that, and they get very scared. I know. So I um, do work for women who go through domestic violence, and there was one lady who was going so much domestic abuse, and she was pregnant first time, and then she was like, she was happy that she's pregnant, but she is very scared to decide whether she wants to carry on with the pregnancy or not, because again she is highly dependent on her husband to sustain, but he is very abusive, alcoholic. She wants to stop that violence, but she's not sure whether she and her child in the womb will be safe with him. But she hopes that if I carry this pregnancy, maybe one day he'll change. Maybe one day he'll be happy that he could be a father. And maybe that criteria that he has become a father may make him change. So this kind of hopes, it is just one example. Hopes have ruined many families. That hope on hope, thinking back, yes, that may change. Now, that may change can come only if they understand this gender component again. That's what I'm saying. What kind of discrimination they are practicing, what kind of what violence they are doing on women and denying her right to life, all those kind of things. And even the contraceptives use is concerned. Again, as to contraceptive use, or even the concept of marital rape is coming in, wherein there were a lot of objections saying no, you should not consider marital rape as a rape at all, because it's a family issue again, and the what the institution of marriage will find no place if you recognize that as a violence, marital rape. So the simple question is, what is it that how can institution of marriage can discriminate against women so much that they want to excuse themselves if they are abusive orally, physically, mentally, whatever it is, they're not ready. So a lot of the claims that, oh, women misuse the law and all that comes out of this, that we first of all, we are not ready to understand that we cause a lot of violence in a day-to-day life to our near and dear ones. You are not ready to accept that, because we think only beating and killing is an offense, not abusing somebody, not using bad word, not disrespecting, not giving any money for the treatment of your dear ones or your wife or your child. We don't think that no, that is violence. We think I have a right to shout at them. They are my family. I have a right to demand or command on them. This is my family. No, this is not so. This is nothing but a domestic violence. This is nothing but a abuse, verbal abuse, mental abuse, sexual abuse. So, domestic violence does consider sexual abuse within the family as an abuse, but we are not ready to consider it as a separate criminal offense till date. So, we have a problem in accepting that yes, there is a discrimination to the extent that one does go through the rape within the marriage relationships. We are not ready. This is again because of our own gender notion that marriage gives us the permission to behave the way we want. So we need not follow the general law of rape. when it comes to our relationship within the family, within our relationships. So unless then this gender, understanding or sensitive being, understanding this gendered norms will help us where we are going wrong. What is stopping us from accepting that? Yes, we cannot be brutal against the wife, against our own children. That should be considered as an offense. But there is a lot of debate now. Currently, the matter is with the Supreme Court, where uh, the it has been challenged that how can a man is allowed to have sex with his wife who is above 15 to between 15 to 18 years, and that is not considered as a rape. The law says that clearly. It says that only if she's below 15-year old, then even if he's a husband, it should be considered as a rape. So now question is, why not you make it up to 18 years? Why not you allow people to, you know, consider it as a rape? Now, because we are saying child marriage is an offense. One side we are saying child marriage is an offense. And another side you are saying that, okay, no problem. You can, if you have married, you can have sex with your wife if she's above 15 and below 18. Doesn't matter. So what are we talking about? Why are we so confused? Why are we not so clear about protecting our little girls and save them from this kind of gender discrimination and gender abuse? What is this is happening? Why are we not? I don't anyway. So this kind of lot of challenges that is still there within the law. So one thing is, there are halfway through we do not want to bring any equal laws. Another way, we have laws, we do not want to implement it because half the time we want to give advice. Majority of the women who go to police stations with any kind of problems, she always gets advice to go back home and not to and no protection is given to her, even though police can do that. But when it comes to family, people want to behave in a very soft manner towards the people who cause violence inside the family, because they think, because we have normalized violence inside families so much so that we are not ready to accept that what my father is bad, behaving badly towards my mother, my husband is behaving badly towards me, my grown up child is behaving badly with me, he's using bad words against me. We are not ready to understand that all these people are abusers. They are none other than the people who are practicing domestic violence in their day to day life. For us, we want to become a good woman, showing that, oh, it's okay. It's okay. Everyone does it. It is all normal. It is a normal thing. So I am here supposed to adjust it. If you're so adjusting with it is one thing. And the thing is, we are also normalizing it, and we are not raising a voice against it, whether it's our own son who is growing up as an abusive person, uses all bad languages against women, who is disrespecting girls of his class or whatever. We never stop them from that. We think, okay, he is, this is a masculinity in him that talks, and this is how he should be growing up. We took pride in that. We took pride in those kind of aggressions, those kind of behaviors. Then normally people say, no, 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 nan magane hange, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕೋಪ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ. What is that? Kopa is okay, all of us have, but you can't abuse somebody. You can't hit somebody. Can't beat somebody. The extent of violence some women go through, uh, because in their husband's hands is, I mean, it's so shocking. You don't know why is it that we are so silent about it. Why our law, the moment the criminal law becomes very strong against these kind of people who practice violence on a day to day basis, then all the the society will come together to protect that masculinity or protect that kind of dominating nature of a man. saying that, then they'll say, oh, save the Indian family. What is happening? These men are being arrested. They have not done nothing. What nothing? If there is, I mean, I am saying those who question these kind of, who rebel against these kind of violence, the percentage is very, very minimal. If you really go and do a survey on each and every house where there is domestic violence, I'm sure 75% household will show, because that's what I'm saying, because it's a normal. We have made violence very normal. This is okay. Okay to behave, okay to abuse, okay to, and all this is mostly um, directed against women. That normally happens because that is where the power of masculinity comes in. Not that the female do not cause violence. Where there is a power, there will be violence. But that power balance, if you understand, within the families, rarely it goes to women. Wherever there's a power that is been abused within the family, the power relation starts everything. So normally husband will keep his power above his wife, and see, in similar way, the mother-in-law and the daughter-in-law, they also try to uh, fight for power within their own little field of battle where they can get to show the power on each other. They will try to do that. That is also there. And somewhere now the power of patriarchy is admired and followed by women. That is why women also end up abusing, because they also believe in that kind of power. They think that kind of power alone can keep the family in place. If we are like that, then only this family. So even at times, mother-in-law also thinks like that. At times, daughter-in-law also thinks like that. That is where again the power thing comes into picture. Anyway, I have gone somewhere too far. Now coming back to reproductive rights. Um, so everything. So deciding about when to give birth to the child, when to when to have sexual relationship with the husband or not, so when to use contraceptives or not, or about one sexual interest or anything, there is no platform that is given to the married woman to discuss about it. And what I have seen in some stories, it's real life stories wherein the women who have ventured into to talk about their reproductive rights, their reproductive choices, were abused, were blamed, were called names that you are an whore, you must be a prostitute, you must be this, you must be that. That is why you want to talk about all this soon after the marriage. And this kind of abuse they have to go through. That means when it comes to sexuality or reproductive rights, we are not ready to hear even a one line from a woman what she wants. That kind of a society we have built in by refusing. This is one kind of very strong, because there is no reproductive rights. Where is the law, if you ask me, other than MTP Act and PCPNDT? PCPNDT anyway, it is all about fertility and sex selective abortions, so medical termination of pregnancy. Other than that, there is no other law which will protect you know reproductive rights of women. So there is a control over access to education, and there is so much social movement also that had happened to get that. And as far as property right is concerned, women have struggled. Finance management is concerned, women were struggling to get hold of her own finances. In many of the trainings I have seen, where even government officers where I have spoken, I have seen that even those working women have no control over their own finances. They were supposed to hand it over to their husband, who is going to